All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night so far, and I hope you had a wonderful day. I had a request to check out this video from Scap Attack, which I always enjoy because that brings me back to the roots of this channel here. This one's called Caitlin Clark is the LeBron James of turnovers. Now, right off the bat, I'm not a fan of this title, so I'm curious about what the context of this video is. Because right off the bat, I gotta say I've been watching some Caitlin Clark games this year. I even watched how her and the rest of the WNBA All-Stars whooped Team USA's ass and during All-Star Weekend here in Phoenix. And for a rookie, I think she's fantastic. Like, she's a rookie. So if this is a bashing video on her, then I won't be a fan of that, and I'll just make that very clear. But I'm going to give Scap some more credit than that. I bet he wouldn't make a video on Caitlin Clark bashing her. Like, he has to have watched some of what she's doing. So let's see what this is. I'm genuinely intrigued by this, and I want to see what this video entails. So as always, I'm going to leave the original Scap Attack video down below in the description. So if you want to watch it without my commentary, feel free. Everybody else, please leave this video a like. It helps out a lot, and I appreciate you guys every single time. And without further ado, let's do it.
Well, Caitlin Clark has done it. She has become the all-time turnover queen in WNBA history with still 15 games remaining in the season.
She's also dominating in assists.
The Indiana Fever, who defeated the Minnesota Lynx on Sunday by a score of 81-74 to raise their record to 11-14 on the year, did so behind Clark's 17 points and 6 assists. Mind you, though, that came on 5 of 17 from the field for Clark, and she added a robust 6 turnovers, which is right on the season average for Caitlin, who is dropping 5.6 turnovers per game this year through 25 games to bring her season total to 139 and eclipsing the previous record of 137 already. The previous record holder, Alyssa Thomas, set her record mark just last season, though you have to go all the way back to 1999 for the third highest total. And speaking of Alyssa Thomas, she is currently second in the WNBA this season in turnovers, but with only 86, 53 fewer than Caitlin Clark. Now granted, Clark's usage rate has been meteoric this season thus far, and no one has the ball in her hands more than she does.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna head with this. Like, she's controlling the ball a lot right now. She's kind of like a Steve Nash point guard kind of player right now from what I've seen. So she controls the ball a lot, and yeah, that's gonna come. Assists are gonna come with turnovers, but okay, I'm open-minded. Let's keep going.
And while Clark has a long way to go on becoming even the best player in her own WNBA league, the comparisons to her male counterparts in the NBA is only natural in light of her unparalleled popularity. Not only is Clark's Indiana Fever team easily leading the WNBA in attendance per game, while setting a record number of sellouts and averaging nearly 17,000 people per home game.
Yeah, two quick things. I wanted to see them play the Phoenix Mercury, but the game was sold out. And I checked months ago. Like, me and my friends checked months ago, like before the season, and it was already sold out. So she's good for the game financially, for damn sure. Addressing, are we comparing her to Jordan? No one's comparing her to Jordan skill-wise. What we're saying is this is kind of similar for the game of basketball to not really Jordan, but when Magic and Bird came into the league, because it's good for the business, you know? So people are paying money to go and watch these people in person. And Dr. J was also good for the game. So we're not comparing and saying like, okay, yeah, you know, she could take MJ. Come on now, you know, let's not be like that. But what she's doing, the impact she's having, on the WNBA is very similar. It's very similar if you go back to when Magic and Bird came into league. Basketball, it was not that big of a deal. Like it was a small cult following for basketball before then, and it started going mainstream with the two of them. Same thing with the WNBA up until this point. Cult following. However, this might push it into the mainstream. And the second thing I wanted to mention was at the All-Star game, it was packed, sold out, packed to the roof. So all women playing basketball sold out the Sun Stadium, man. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. Footprint Center.
But keep in mind, this is the same dreadful garbage can of a franchise which barely pulled in 4,000 per game last year and drew an almost impossible to believe 1,700 per home game in 2022.
It's a complete crap.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. They need people in those stands. Get people in those stands, and they'll make some money finally.
And there are the viewership records she is setting.
Whoops.
And for context on this one, beginning in the 2009 season and running through the start of this current league year, the floating dumpster fire of a league, unwatchable pile of crap that is the WNBA, did not record a single game that received over 1 million viewers. Not one game in 15 years. But there have already been 12 games this season that have recorded at least 1 million viewers, and of the top 10 most watched WNBA games for the season, Clark was a part of 9 of them.
Yep.
9 times.
Exactly. So why are we bashing her? Why are we bashing her? I don't understand.
Yes, to call her the WNBA's savior isn't hyperbolic, not in the least. She is more important than any single figure ever was to the health, well-being, and overall popularity of the WNBA. Further, she is more singularly important than any single male figure ever was to the NBA. But no, Clark is not the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. Not yet, anyway. Clark still has a long way to go before she reaches that level. And she does need to clean up the turnovers badly. Or
Yeah,
does
for sure.
she? While Clark is drastically far off from those Jordan comps, she can maybe just continue with the turnover totals, tattoo chosen one on her back, and start referring to herself as the queen. After all, it has worked for none other than the self-proclaimed GOAT LeBron James, who has been striving for greatness for over 2 decades now, one playoff sweep, flop, and yes, turnover at a time. James is, after all, the all-time turnover king, and that is by a substantial margin of over 600 turnovers for the regular season and by over 300 for the postseason. His total combined...
Why are we talking about LeBron James? What's going on here?
6,245 career turnovers in the regular season and playoffs is well over 1,000 more than any other single player ever. So perhaps all the criticism of Clark is just being overblown, as she is in good company with respect to male comps on her turnover totals. In fact, Luka Doncic led the NBA in turnovers this regular season on the way to his third-place MVP finish. And in that light, so too, by the way, should Clark easily win the WNBA's Rookie of the Year award, and that is regardless of whatever pitiful attempt the media deploys to elevate the massively overrated Angel Reese double-double streak. Clark...
Hey, she had a double-double in that All-Star game, too, and that was versus the Team USA. So, I mean, you got to think about it. The WNBA All-Stars were going in there shorthanded because all the All-Stars, or the people that would have been All-Stars, that happened to be on Team USA, which is the majority of them, they weren't on that All-Star team. So that's what made it so competitive and so cool. Yeah, Reese had a double-double that game, too. She was rebounding like crazy.
Clark is averaging 17 points per game to Reese's 13.5, and that is while Caitlin is also leading her team in assists. But not only is Clark leading her team in assists, she is the league leader in assists currently. Angel Reese has zero claim to this award. 0, especially when factoring in the Indiana Fever, who had the 3rd worst record in the league a year ago, has a better record currently than Angel Reese's Chicago Sky team. But in an utterly laughable display of idiocy by the garbage product that is the WNBA, they will continue to hype up and stat pad Reese's rebound totals. Just one of the many reasons, despite the emergence of Caitlin Clark and her vast popularity, the WNBA is still totally an unwatchable joke of a product.
All right, that's going to do it for this one. I don't know. I don't know if Scap's actually watching any of these games or if he's just looking at stats. But I'm not on base on this one. Yeah, up until this point, the WNBA has been trash. I'm with you. I get it. But now that we have an upswing and we have some popular players who are going in there and actually playing hard, yeah, I get it. Negativity and hate sells. You know, that's where the clicks are. That's where the ad revenue is. But I'm not jumping on that bandwagon until I see a reason to. Caitlin Clark has been stand up, legit, very gracious, and she seems very humble. And she is out there to prove all the haters wrong. So I'm not gonna be that guy who's gonna just punch down on her. Like that's not me. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I stand where I stand right now. I'm hoping I'm right because I would love to see a world where women's basketball is at least a profitable thing. I grew up with a lot of women who loved playing basketball, and I still know a lot of young women who love basketball. So it would be cool for them to have hope for, making that a professional thing for themselves. And I don't want the WNBA to die. I want it to thrive. I want it to succeed. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Caitlin Clark ends up being a bust after this year. But so far, she's living up to the hype. And not only that, there's a bigger spotlight on her than there's ever been on any other WNBA player right now. Big old giant spotlight, and she's not crumbling. She's actually she's standing up and she's playing good basketball. So yeah, I'm not going to be dissing her right now. If I find a reason to later on, yeah, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, I ain't punching down on her, and hell no, I'm not comparing her to LeBron James. Okay? When LeBron came into the league, he was celebrated. It was all the things he did throughout his career that make us feel the way that we feel about LeBron now. So we gave LeBron a chance. I'm going to give Caitlin a chance and hope that she makes different decisions than LeBron does throughout her career. All right, guys. Sorry, I thought this was going to be a funny one. It wasn't really funny to me. So I'm out of here. Peace out, you guys.